All right, what is up? We are live, so let's jump right into it. A lot of people, after I got back home today, I was looking up a few things. A lot of people still seem to think that super speedway racing isn't what it once was. And if you think about some of the most iconic moments in NASCAR, they do revolve around some of your restrictor plate tracks. Daytona 500, of course, your biggest race of the season traditionally, but that has even seemed to lose some hype here recently. But like, let's just go back and think about it. Go back to the 90s, right? Daytona 500, the Dale and Dale show. Dale Jarrett versus Dale Earnhardt Sr., 92, 93, somewhere in there, where the Daytona 500, the Interstate Batteries number 18, Dale Jarrett going there for his second win. First win for Joe Gibbs Racing. Dale Earnhardt Sr. at that time, once again, doesn't win the Daytona 500, an iconic moment, an epic moment, super speedway track. Then you go fast forward a little bit. Jeff Gordon winning the Daytona 500 in the 90s as well. Then fast forward to the 2000s to mid 2000s, you had the DEI dominance. Super speedway, restrictor plate track racing, whatever you want to call it, was a huge deal. Dale Jr. was winning everything in sight. Michael Waltrip was winning everything in sight. Take it all the way back to Dale Sr. Dale Sr. had won as many races as you can possibly win at Daytona and Talladega. So super speedway racing was always a hot item ticket. Whenever it came on the TV, it was much must-watch TV. It was always exciting racing. And then even fast forward past that, you had the tandem racing, which a lot of people enjoyed for a long period of time as well. They had the wicker bill. We've had various forms of it, but it has always been exciting. It has always been top build NASCAR TV. Even if some people think it's a gimmick, they would still watch because it's so unpredictable. You never knew what would happen. And then now we've got this new car. You don't have that same buzz. You don't have that same feel. You don't have that same build up to these restrictor plate races, these super speedway races that you used to have. And I think there are a lot of factors that go into this. We're not going to necessarily put it all on the car. I think there's some other things we can look at here, including the format and how things are laid out, because let's start with the format. In those races I just mentioned, there was no uh, cutoff point. There was no stage break, whatever you want to call it. And the stage racing and all that stuff, that gets really contentious. Some people are really like the stage racing. Some people really like the stage breaks. So I'm not going to get into whether or not we should get rid of stage racing, but it's super speedways. And I know they tried this at road courses, but it's super speedways, or they tried it one time at a road course and went back to what they had. But at super speedways, maybe we need to take a look at the format for a little bit, because the stage breaks. I'm not saying get rid of the stage racing, but the break for the end of the stage, maybe it is time we take a look at getting rid of that, because what it has created in this modern era of this car is a singular format where the very beginning of this run, these teams are going to save fuel until they can get to the pit window. Then they're going to pit. Then they're going to go back out there, line up, and save some fuel some more. And then at the very end, they're actually going to try to race each other and actually go for it. And you're going to get that twice. And then basically, because you've shortened and condensed the end of the race as well, if there's no unnatural caution or anything like that, you're actually going to get kind of the exact same thing. Uh, if nothing out of the ordinary happens. So you're going to have everybody on the same strategy. You're going to have everybody saving fuel. And what that has created is cars that just ride around side by side, and nobody's actually trying to make a move. Nobody's actually trying to race. So it has taken what was once must see TV, and it has relegated it to when's the end of the stage. We'll start watching then because they're actually going to race, and other factors like that. So I think that is probably the first biggest issue. I think the first thing NASCAR could do to address this, to make super speedway racing better, would be to get rid of the stage breaks. You don't have to get rid of the stage points and stuff that you're going to award there, but you do, for super speedways at least, need to get rid of the stage breaks, because that is going to open up the strategy quite a bit for some of these teams. Some of these teams are going to have different things that they go off of and do. Some teams might not even worry about the stage points in a scenario like this, because they could find a way to get a window, a bigger picture window, to win the overall race and lock themselves into the playoffs, take the bigger gamble right there. So I could see this really opening up the strategy. quite a bit. It would also improve the racing quite a bit because not everybody would be on the save fuel strategy. So there would be more racing throughout the pack. And you could get a situation where they push enough that maybe those guys that are trying to save fuel, you make them try to catch up because they get so far outside of a window trying to save fuel that they can't catch up. It could create a lot of different scenarios that I think the stage breaks are taking away. So that is the first thing that I would say to get rid of that would help get rid of the boring racing that is now plaguing the super speedways. The other thing that we do need to take a look at is the car itself, because I think the car itself needs to be brought into question because it started off with short tracks, right? This car didn't race well at short tracks, and everybody was throwing their hands up in the air, and some people were like, whatever, short tracks or whatever. Then it started to not race as well at road courses, but that's the same package. Everybody's like, all right, well, we just need to work on the short track and the road course package. But now this car is also not racing well at super speedways now that the engineers and teams have had more time to work with it. You heard Joey Logano say that we just couldn't pass. You needed so much help from behind that it didn't matter. You also heard William Byron say it's not even the guy directly behind you, it's the guy behind him. So it's like basically the third car in that line is who needs to make the push. So this car at a super speedway now is not racing as well as it did, and that now makes 3 tracks. So super speedways, road courses, 3 types of tracks: super speedways, road courses, and short tracks. The new modern next gen, whatever you want to call it, car is not racing well there. Mile and a half, check, plus 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 plus. At mile and a half, this thing is ripping. Like, it is doing a great job at mile and a half. You can't take anything away from it there. NASCAR has certainly fixed that problem at mile and a half. However, now every other track is having issues with this car. So I think it's time to take a look at maybe modifying some parts, or maybe just a complete redesign of what you've got. I'm not saying you have to throw it all in the trash. Look at what works on the mile and a half, but also look at what's not working at other places, and let's redesign this thing. I know Steve Phelps has talked about it. He's open to that, but I do think the car does play into this a little bit as well. And that is actually the poll question as well. And some people might like the super speedway racing. But the problem with super speedways is the stage breaks. It's the car, both the car and the stage breaks, or no problem, the racing is great. That is the poll question if you want to jump in there and answer that. The other things that I wanted to address that I didn't get a chance to talk about, the penalty reports. RFK is not going to challenge the penalty that they got with Ryan Preece, and Penske is also not going to challenge the penalty that they got with Joey Logano. And the other thing that I didn't get to talk about, the caution, the random caution from the Xfinity Series race that awarded Austin Hill the win. Super popular if you're an RCR fan. A lot of other people from sitting in the stands when that happened, a lot of other people were not happy about it. Jeb Burton certainly felt like he had a case to win that. It's Jordan Anderson. He got very emotional about it. Was tearing up, in fact, talking about it. But should NASCAR have thrown that caution? Could they have safely raced back? From where I was sitting, I thought that they could have raced back to the line. I think they would have been fine, and then throw the caution. I think these guys knew the deal, but that's where I was sitting. I don't know exactly where Zilich's car was sitting, if he was out of the way or not. I think they could have raced back to the line. I think that would have been fine. I think it was a quick trigger on the caution once again, which has been a thing recently, but always they're going to win that argument with me because they're just going to say it was for safety reasons, and you really can't argue against it if they're going to say it was safety reasons. But I think they could have raced back to the line and ended it that way, and then you wouldn't have this controversy hanging over Austin Hill, Jesse Love and Jeb Burton, not Harrison Burton, Jeb Burton as well. So I thought that was interesting, and that was my take on it. But NASCAR is always going to win that argument because they're going to say, it's because of safety issues and stuff like that. Also, got some news today. Christopher Bell going to make his high limit racing debut at Texas. Of course, a fierce rivalry with Kyle Larson, who is at least part owner of the high limit series. It was really cool to see Bell jumping in there, and he's going to be racing the Interstate Batteries winged car. So good looking paint scheme on that thing. Interstate Batteries going to be sponsored also on the number 20 here at Texas, as well as we go into the Texas weekends. So good looking hot rods getting ready for both ends there of the Texas weekend. So all right, that's what I got. We'll see what you guys want to chat about here in the poll questions. There you go. Joe Leave in Joe Hendry. He said he's got a catchy song, so I'm not super familiar with him, other than I do know that he is a wrestler. What's up, PC Gone Rogue? Coach, in between, you have to be careful. Say his name and he appears. What's up? I hope you enjoyed your weekend at Talladega. I sure did, Jesse. I thought it was a good time. I would encourage anybody that gets the opportunity to go to Talladega to definitely go to Talladega. It's a super fun time. Definitely, if you can get the garage pass and go to Big Bill's Garage, I would encourage that as well. Super cool way to watch a race from the infield. And for the Cup race, I watched it on the regular grandstand. So either way, where you watch it there at Talladega, a fun time. And then the infield, just everything going on in the infield is a good time as well. Cody Ledger true, but I believe in Joe Hendry, says in between lanes. B saying Austin Cindric deserved that win yesterday. I'm tired of hearing otherwise, says Bumblebee. I'm not taking anything away from the win. I just thought the racing itself was super speedway racing now compared to what it used to be. Just not what it was. The race wasn't even bad. It was mid, but not bad. BB, a Monday night, heck yeah, says Bruce Garvey. What's up, Bruce Garvey? Good to see you on here, my friend. I forgot to put a bolt on the rear spoiler. Now I'm fired, says Nicole Wembley. So Nicole Wembley taking full responsibility for not putting the bolt there on the back of Joey Logano's car. Nicole taking it on the chin for the team. I just hate the damn fuel savings, says B. Laughing my butt off, says B to Nicole. Remove the stage brakes, and I promise you things will improve, says Elise. So Elise thinks if you remove the stage brakes, the racing will improve. I don't like the fuel saving either, but at the same time, the 4-wide fuel saving was more exciting than 2-wide. Go all out gridlock. They couldn't get any runs. Says Jesse Daly. Yeah, so part of it is the car. Like even Joey Logano and William Byron, the most vocal about it this particular time. No doubt about it. So can you do something to this car, or do we need a complete redesign? That's a question that certainly can be asked from here until the end of time, right? So we'll have to see about that. Manufacturers pitting together is stupid, says Nicole Wembley. And that's the other thing. You have to have some type of strategy. We saw one of the cautions come from that, no doubt about it, where I think it was Chevrolet or the Fords were trying to pit. But either way, that was basically what caused the Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, whoever you want to put at fault there. I don't really care. To me, it's just a racing incident. But whoever you want to put at fault there, that's kind of what caused that. Manufacturers on different strategies, and all the Fords were trying to come in and the Chevys were in the way, or vice versa. I can't remember from where I was sitting. But yeah, you're going to get situations like that when everybody's trying to pit at once. As well, because of playing the fuel strategy, fuels the savings game, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Also, we're dealing with the fact that no one can make a run, says Elise. Nicole, that's been a strategy for years. Says Elise. BB interrupted Hamlin's progressive and had good results with that sponsorship up until this point. So yeah, not a great run for Hamlin. Unfortunately, takes out Bill, and later on said that he was sorry he took him out, but it doesn't help out Christopher Bell there. And Nicole Wembley saying, yeah, that strategy, it's been a strategy for a long time, but yeah, that strategy is still stupid. Elise agreeing. Denny gets an F for shoving a teammate into the wall, says Nicole Wembley. So there you go. Nicole, I did not like, even though Denny apologized, she did not like his particular strategy there of pushing C-Bell too hard at that stage in the race. There is the merch link there. Much appreciated. Check out the merch if you want to give there. T-shirts, hats, and stickers, all available there. Also got sweatshirts here if you want to stay super warm in the summer. Checking in. I'll catch the replay later. What's up, One Wise Guy? Appreciate you checking in here. Did you see the video of Richard Childress tapping the Fox Sports cameraman in the dads while on the air? Says Jamie Spicer. I did not see that. I did not see the I don't know. I guess we're going with a nut tap here. I'm not sure if that's what we're talking about. So yeah, live at the racetrack, I didn't get to see anything that was on TV. So maybe I'll check it out. Maybe they got it on the NASCAR replay on the YouTube channel. Too much time wasted on stage breaks. That's another issue for sure. The stage breaks, the cautions last super long. It takes away green flag laps that people have paid for, tickets in the stands and stuff like that. That has been an argument for a long time too. If you're going to have the stage breaks, maybe not count the laps under caution at the very least, because they do seem to take an extra long time. And really those stage breaks are just for extra commercials for NASCAR. Let's see. Why are we qualifying at 181 is the question. We used to qualify at 195 and run 200, 203. Now we qualify at 180 and run 195. Much larger discrepancy to single car running, says Cody Ledger. Yeah, so that's another issue. The speeds are way down for sure. What can they do about that? I don't know. Like I said, it would have to go to a redesign of the car. I think they're intentionally trying to slow the car down as well, though. So I wouldn't hold my breath on that one. Burton got robbed Saturday, says Nicole Wembley. Certainly, a lot of people feel like that. Jeb Burton certainly gained a lot of fans by showing his emotion and how much that race meant to him and the Jordan Anderson team there. Like you said, they only have so many opportunities to get a win there. So for sure, that's going to be an issue. P.S. Blaney is at Raw tonight in Kansas behind the TV desk, says one wise guy. So one wise guy watching Blaney on Raw. So another driver getting into the mix here with with the WWE. Will Blaney be a championship belt holder like Kyle Busch was, the 24/7 champion? Kyle Busch. Xfinity caution was thrown because Zilich said he was hurt, says B. NASCAR worrying without stage breaks, close racing. They will lose audience, but how about Fox filling the last 20 laps full of commercials, says Bruce Garvey. Now, see, that's something. Appreciate you there, Bruce. That's something I couldn't tell from the stands because, I'm not watching it on TV. So the fact that the last 20 laps, they're just pumping it full of commercials, and Seth is agreeing here with Bruce that there were just way too many commercials there. I think that's definitely a fair statement if they were pumping them in like that. That is certainly something that they definitely need to work on. Even if it is side by side, you still don't get to hear the announcers, and you're missing a lot of context even when you're just watching it side by side. So yeah, the commercials, maybe they need to figure out a deal where it goes commercial free the last 15 or 20 laps or something like that. That would be a big win if a company wanted to say, hey, we're going to sponsor you to go commercial free the last 20 laps. I think that would be a big win. Maybe that could be your Toyota all out last 20 laps. No commercials other than like a little Toyota thing or something at the bottom. IndyCar at Barber says in between the lanes. Next race on Antenna TV for me is the Daytona race. Good luck, Cup Series, with your TV contract, says Nicole Wembley. So I like your stance there, Nicole. Nicole is not going to pay extra money. She's not going to go chasing NASCAR all around from this network to that network. NASCAR took its big lump sum paycheck. It took its big TV money, but they're also going to suffer some ratings because there are going to be a lot of people like Nicole who's like, you know what, I'm not going to sit here and chase every single place that NASCAR is on. They've made it way too difficult for me to follow it. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out for NASCAR ratings wise with this money grab that they have gone on and taken. And I think I saw somewhere reports Fox has exposed NASCAR. So I'm going to have to chase that story down. NASCAR's financial troubles or something like that. I saw that somewhere. So I'm going to have to chase it down. I think it was NASCAR Lucky Dog on Track or something like that on Instagram. So I'm gonna have to chase where they were getting that story from. I think it was maybe NBC Sports or something, but don't quote me on that. So I have to chase that one down and see what they were talking about there. Cletus is top 10 in ARCA. I'm glad you said that in between lanes. So Cletus McFarland gets his first top 10 because I meant to talk about this. Gets his first top 10 in the ARCA series, and that is huge for him. It shows that he is, and he had, I think, some engine trouble as well. Watching it live, we literally in Big Bill's garage is where we were watching the ARCA race at. Every time they would show Cletus, he would get a huge pop from the crowd there, and it was really cool. So every time there was any type of Cletus thing, everybody in Big Bill's garage was cheering. So he is definitely a fan. Gets the top 10, so that is a massive, and shows that he is a legit YouTuber. In fact, Max Pappas came out and said he is a race car driver pretending to be a YouTuber. I thought that was really a kind thing of Max Pappas to say, giving him support there. And Mad Max, always a fan favorite as well. So one fan favorite pumping up another fan favorite. So yeah, congrats to Cletus. Did a great job there, and hope he keeps on ripping it. Keep on ripping it, Cletus. Hell yeah, brother. Let's see. I'll enjoy my summer. No NASCAR controversies, says Nicole Wembley. So yeah, enjoy your, I guess, your summer off from NASCAR. Feel free to come in and check in on us. I'll fill you in on the controversies if you like to. Let's see. Was hoping for a KFB win. Unfortunately, the speeding, says in between lanes. Yeah, KFB got caught speeding twice. Was caught up in the Brad, because just a rough day for him. Looked like he had a fast car, but unfortunately just didn't get away. Multiple penalties. Ends up shoot like 28th or something like that back there. Thoughts on Joey trashing Austin, says B. So yeah, that I guess that's another thing that a lot of people ran with. Joey Logano got heated and fired up on his radio. To me, it's nothing. To me, it's nothing. If you listen to these guys talk on the radio, that's absolutely nothing. From my opinion, and even at the like late models, the level I work at, sometimes for certain guys, I know how they are when they're sitting in a car. I just won't even put on the headphones, or I'll put them on and I just won't turn it on because I just don't want to hear it. But you got to know who you're working with. And it's not like Joey Logano was sitting there consciously saying F Austin Cindric. I know he said it literally, but he wasn't saying F him. He was just saying he didn't appreciate, and you're in the car, you're heated up, you're worked up, the adrenaline's going. He was more or less just saying he didn't like the move that Austin Cindric made. And I think when they talk about it, neither one of them is going to have a problem with it. It just gets blown up because media has access to the radio, and any little thing like this, they blow it up and try to make a big controversy about it. And it's really not. At the end of the day, it's just Joey Logano voicing his frustration that he thinks the Fords could have won that stage if Austin Cindric had played ball and done the strategy that Joey Logano thought would have played out better for the Fords. And that's really all Joey Logano was saying. He wasn't literally saying F Austin Cindric or anything like that. So it's the media. They're going to spin it up and make it sound like the biggest story in the world. But at the end of the day, it's absolutely nothing. But that was my take on that one. But got to get the traction if you're doing media. So that was that's what that was all about, in my opinion. What's up, OJ and Toothpaste? Good to see you on here, my friend, as always. B, you made my day with that Chipper Jones tweet about Joey. Favorite paint scheme, says In Between the Lanes. I liked BJ McLeod's. I thought his was really good, but I thought by far the best paint scheme there was Daniel Suarez in the Wendy's car. Without question, it was the best looking paint scheme up close. Yeah, for sure. Do you think Brad Keselowski will make the playoffs? I don't know. It's not looking good, but he's always a potential threat to win a race. So I'm not going to count him out for sure, but he's off to a slow start. We will say that. I would say SVG was having a better year. Been a difficult season, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, I think that whole new team over there absolutely is just struggling. I don't think it's all SVG. I think it's just a new team type of deal for sure. BB, you made it. How was your Talladega experience? It was a great experience. Dirty Def, for sure. Sorry I wasn't able to meet up with you. Place is huge. It's hard to move around quickly. Yeah, for sure. I tried to meet up with Dirty Def, but we couldn't. And like you said, it's a huge place. But yeah, I loved it. I would, if you have the opportunity to do it, if it's within your budget and all that stuff. I know it's hard to get to these races for some people because they're so far away, they're so expensive and stuff like that. But if you ever get an opportunity to go to Talladega or Daytona, any place like this, but we're talking about specifically Talladega today, I would 100% say go to Talladega, get as much of the experience as you can. You definitely got to get in there and visit the infield and see everything that's going on over there. Big Bill's Garage. If you're young enough to enjoy the Boulevard, I guess go out and enjoy the Boulevard if that's your thing. But yeah, even just watching the race from the stands, it's an experience. And I told a lot of people this. I've been to Daytona and I've been to Talladega, and they are the same size. But I swear, man, Talladega looks so much bigger than Daytona for some reason. It's crazy. But that being said, both of those experiences are great. And for sure, if you ever get a chance to go out to Talladega, definitely check it out. The people there are super fun. Everybody's having a good time. So yeah, I thought it was a good experience. Going to hopefully I get some one of my other friends trying to convince them to go as well. So might be making another trip out there at some point in the future. Problem is with the current car, if they made it faster, it would definitely more likely get in the air, says Dirty Def. Yeah, so part of that, once again, maybe a redesign of the car is needed, or at least some components on the car need to be redesigned for sure. I hated it for Jeb. It is what it is, but you just hate for NASCAR to be determined by that when NASCAR official hits the button. Yeah, so that's another thing. Was it too quick on the button? Was it for safety? I don't know. From my perspective, where I was sitting, impossible to tell. But I feel like where the wreck happened, they had plenty of room to slow down before they got to where the wreck was at. But that's just me. The race was so short for a 500-mile Talladega race that Fox didn't have time to get all the commercials in, says Dirty Def. Oh, that's I hate that for Fox. So horrible for them. Jokes aside, though, but yeah, unfortunately, apparently they ruined the last 20 laps by cramming in commercials. Bumblebee Joey appeared to be ticked off about Cindric pushing Bubba, causing him to win the stage. Actually, mad from not winning yet, says Jamie Schweitzer. So there you go. Jamie Schweitzer's take is that Joey's just frustrated. He doesn't have the win yet. Yeah, the side by side commercials with 10 to go was ridiculous, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, I will say this: with 10 to go, it's time to just cut your losses on the commercials there. Lawless Allen won the ARCA race. He did that. And what's crazy about that? I appreciate you there in between the lanes. And Jesse Daly saying shout out to Lawless. What's crazy about that is Lawless Allen wins the ARCA race, and the vast majority of the conversation is about Cletus McFarland getting a top 10. Ain't that like that? Just tells you how big of a name he is and how much people are pulling for him to do well. And I think that's cool. I think both stories are cool, and I'm glad that Cletus is getting all the support he's getting. But it does kind of suck if you're a Lawless Allen or a Lawless Allen fan that you win the race and it doesn't get talked about. But it happens a lot. It happens a lot in motorsport. The race winner sometimes isn't always the bigger story, and that's crazy. It's crazy. NASCAR is concerned about reaching a younger generation while losing the current and older generations, says John Bradburn. Yeah, for sure. They're not happy with the growth of it. And I know Mike Joy sat down, I think, with Kevin Harvick and voiced his concerns about that as well. So I'm going to have to, I guess, check that one out as well. I don't like stage breaks, and they drag them out too long. Also, too many DQs lately, says Perry Earl. That's another I'm glad you brought that up, Perry, because somebody else was talking to me about that. It seems like NASCAR has gotten a little trigger happy recently on the penalties. So maybe they're trying to clean up a lot of stuff that they've been seeing or that they've been hearing about. So yeah, the penalties have been flying left and right from NASCAR. And I think that's interesting. Chipper Jones rants. Again, Joey on X was epic, says Dirty Def. So Chipper Jones apparently going off on Joey Logano. I saw like headlines for it, but I don't know. It seemed cross promotional. So I don't know. Is Chipper Jones saying that to create pop for the Braves Cincinnati game in Bristol? Why was that my first thought? I put on the tinfoil hat as always, but that was literally my first thoughts when I saw that. But I'll have to go back and see exactly what I said before I give an opinion on it. Because I don't want to give an opinion on something I haven't read what he said overall. I thought it was worse that Logano was making an inside dig at Cindric for apparently all the notes he has, says Dirty Def, LOL. And Cindric, to his credit, says, yes, maybe there's some things we need to address. So Austin Cindric forever being the consummate professional, the consummate teammate, just saying, yes, we'll have to address this in the Monday morning meeting. I bet Cindric is a freaking animal in those meetings. Like he's all buttoned down, but I bet he'll descend upon you like a spider monkey or whatever. The Mountain Dew guy, Mountain Dew kid was there. He was with Ty Dillon, 20 years, I guess, the Talladega Nights. He was there with Ty Dillon though, at Talladega. So I'll descend upon you like spider monkey. That kid was there, and so that was that. We all been Joey at one point, says Rosie. For sure, Rosie. Absolutely. We have all been heated and said something that, if somebody heard on the radio, they could have taken it and run with it. Like, they apparently have run with Joey Logano's comments on Austin Cindric for sure. Fox had commercials from 16 to go until 11 to go, then from 9 to go to 5 to go. Couldn't figure out how Priest got to the front, then coming with 2 to go, switch to show the crowd, says Bruce Garvey. That is classic Fox right there. We're going to do commercials. Then as soon as we actually come back, we're going to show you a crowd shot because everybody needs another crowd shot for sure. Chevy and Toyota's blocked Fords all day. So at the end, the Fords blocked them for the win, says David Nyhoff. Say, that's turnabout is fair play, is it not? So good on Ford for doing what they needed to do and getting themselves in position to win this one at the end. And shout out to Austin Cindric for getting the win as well. Big win for him. He was really excited that he finally got a win for Menards. So he was super happy about that. And it had been 30-something races since he last got a win at Worldwide Technology. So he was coming up on a year, close to it, or a full season since he got his last win. So gets that streak broken as well. So good on him. And now it's back-to-back years in the playoffs. So no doubt about it. BB saying Talladega by Eric Church says in between lanes. Indeed. And they played a lot of Alabama there too. And Leonard Skinner, Sweet Home Alabama. So there was a lot of Alabama themed music for sure. Why was the number 2 car advertising Quaker State when Pennzoil is backing the Penske team forever? That's a great question. I don't know, Nicole. I'd never even thought about that till you literally just brought it up. That is an interesting. That's interesting. So maybe it's just a long play for Shell to get on the track because they wanted to be the fuel manufacturer or the overall fuel manufacturer for NASCAR. So that's always been Shell's deal with why they want to be on there. Obviously, it's Shell Pennzoil, but they want as much Shell coverage on there as possible for Shell gasoline. So that's why they do it under the Pennzoil banner. So maybe from that aspect, they're not worried about it. They just want the Shell logo out there. Because if you remember when Kevin Harvick first drove the Shell car, he had a big Shell on the hood of that number 29 RCR car. Sunoco rights with the fuel and stuff like that, things at play there. So maybe that is why they're doing that. That would be my best guess. But it is, of course, just that. Congratulations on popping your Talladega cherry. It's always a good time, says Ryan Jellick. Yeah, for sure. Talladega is a fun time, and I will encourage for sure anybody that gets a chance to go check it out. Nicole, the oil is from the same state, says David Nyhoff. How are people at the people around the track? Glad you had a good time. I didn't really talk to too many people, but it seemed like they were having a good time. It seemed like overall they were friendly. Everybody that I went up and talked to when I bought stuff or whatever like that was really cool. Everybody at the I guess the most conversations I had were at the Hall of Fame Museum there, the International Hall of Fame Museum, which is on the same campus as the racetrack. Everybody there was super nice. Everybody there was super stoked. And I would encourage you that if you have the time, definitely check out that Motorsports Hall of Fame. Just so much really cool stuff in there, NASCAR related and otherwise. Like they have just so. I would go back there just to go visit that Hall of Fame again. They had so many things that I wish I could have spent more time looking at. But you're on such a tight schedule to get on a race day because you got to be here, there, and some other places that I definitely need to go back there and check that out. They had a few things in there that I had never seen, I was unaware of, and they had a few things in there that I remember vaguely from childhood, and I was like, "Oh, holy crap! This is what this was all about." So definitely check out the Hall of Fame. I guess if you go down there. Also, love the hat. I got the same one myself. Says Ryan. Oh, I appreciate it, man. Hat gang, Hat Brothers. How about I just read that one. Let's see. Thad Moffitt P2. Yeah, Thad Moffitt, man, so close, but couldn't get it done. Thad Moffitt gang for sure. Petty Legacy, always going to pull for him. Badlands Bandit. Oh, I'm sure it's is sold there. Says Nicole Wembley. So she's saying it is sold there to Badlands Bandit. Unfortunately, a non-playoff winner in the playoffs barely gets mentioned. Says Dirty Def. Oh yeah, so there you go. So a non-playoff winners in playoffs barely get mentioned. That is a fact for sure. That is part of the playoff era for sure. It's all about the playoffs. I'll try asking Joey about Cindric at the third annual charity concert for the Joey Logano Foundation, Coyote Joe's, Charlotte, May 20th. Hey, there you go. So Jamie Schweitzer, our man on the scene, is going to try to get us some answers. I'm pretty sure neither one of them will really care either way. Cindric has been knocking on the door all year, says David Knopf. I'm with you. I'm a big believer in Austin Cindric's talent. If you remember, gosh, it took him like 2 or 3 years to get going in the Xfinity Series. But once he got going in the Xfinity Series, he really got going. And maybe it's going to be the same thing in Cup. The more experience he gets, the better and better he seems to get. A la Martin Truex Jr. The longer Martin Truex Jr. hung around, the better and better he got. So maybe he's a slow roller like that. Sterling Marlin would be another good example of that. So yeah, I'm a big believer in Cindric's talent. I think he's got the capability to get it done for sure. So I'm with you there, David. Another DNF for Blaney. What's going on? Says Miguel. Yeah, unfortunately, this time Blaney was just caught up in somebody else's stuff, but it's been up and down for old Blaney here this season for sure. Engines blowing, getting caught up in other people's mess. So just been an unfortunate start to the season. He's had plenty of speed though, Miguel. So if you want to hang your hat on anything, he's got the speed. Unfortunately, he just keeps getting caught up in this other mess. Chipper Jones is a NASCAR fan, and I just think he's not a Logano fan, says Dirty Def. Say that's probably a fair statement if I had to venture a guess. Did you get a picture taken with Sasquatch and Yeti? I did. I saw Sasquatch riding in a golf cart, but he was never near enough to me to get a picture, and I never saw the Yeti guy anywhere. My cousin did, apparently, but I never saw him. But the Liquid Death guy, whoever designed the Liquid Death guy, that dude, that's a weird looking character. Whoever came up with that was probably digitally enhanced mentally at the time of coming up with this character, but that was as disturbing a character as I think I've ever seen. So I did not get a picture with that one either. And who else? There was quite a few mascots walking around though, so it was really cool. Bucky's because the race was in town. We visited Bucky's like 4 or 5 times as well. Bucky's is another one if you want to go check them out. So I definitely check them out. That's always a fun time at Bucky's. Bucky's had their mascot out at the actual Bucky's, not at the racetrack. But yeah, there was a lot of mascots out there for sure. Good time all the way around. Did you catch the quarter midget races they were having outside the track around the NASCAR experience area? I was like a little series taking place yesterday before the race. I didn't see that, but I saw a lot of people on the dirt track. I didn't see the dirt track itself, but a lot of people were attending the dirt track races. But I didn't see the quarter midgets. I didn't know exactly where they were at, but apparently they were over by the NASCAR experience. So the NASCAR experience, when I walked over there, they had the speakers up so loud that I couldn't even tolerate it. I was going to go to the crash bar and get the cheap drinks over there. But it was just so loud over there with the way they had the audio that I was like, I'm not dealing with all that. So I just turned around and I left that. They later did turn down the volume. So I'll give them credit there. Not trying to bash on them there. What do you think about the all-star race? Race what you brung. Are there any other criteria? Says CY. Well, the teams have turned that down, and Denny Hamlin said he's going to speak on it, I guess, this Monday. So we'll see why they turned that down. I'm thinking money. So and it could be a good play from NASCAR to show that teams are trying to save money. So we'll see. Shell is on Larson's IndyCar with Valvoline, which is kind of odd. So yeah, I think what the deal is Shell is pushing their gasoline through their motor oil. I think that's what Shell's doing. And that's I think is going to be your explanation for that. But I'll try to look into it and see if it's is anything like that. So Quaker State is owned by Pennzoil. So there you go. Quaker State and Pennzoil all the same apparently. So there you go. According to PC Gone Rogue. So that could be it too. But Valvoline, I would imagine would have to be a separate entity. Let's see what the Shell Motor Oil Company owns. Shell subsidiaries. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. It's not showing all. I looked up the wrong thing. Do 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 do. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I can't find anything here, but I'll take your word for it. But Valvoline, I feel like is definitely owned by somebody else. So what I'm thinking is still holds. Shell is trying to push their gasoline because I think that's where they make the majority of their money. So they're trying to push their gasoline through their Pennzoil because whenever you see Pennzoil, they pop the big Shell logo on it. That's what I think they're doing with that. But that's just my opinion for sure. What because we know they've done it in the past with Kevin Harvick. That's why that's my opinion. When he originally was driving the number 29 for RCR, they were forced to shrink down the Shell logo. So that's what makes me think that that's what Shell is doing. Could NASCAR design cars for each type of track, short track, intermediate track, super speedway, and maybe one of those would work for a road course, says Greg. Yeah, I don't know. So they could possibly redesign everything going around this chassis, and that might help. So maybe that's the direction they go in the future. That would be my only thought process as to how they could do that. Like the underbody, like everything, the chassis would stay the same, but maybe they have different bolt-on bodies for different tracks. That maybe would be a direction they go that could help out. Let's see. Suarez has been Quaker State for car for the last several years. So I was surprised to see Cindric have the sponsorship. Maybe it's like Mobile One where they sponsor multiple teams and cars. Says Dirty Duff. Yeah, for sure. I think you'll probably see it on Suarez again as well, if I had to guess. But you never know. They change up sponsors a lot, especially in this era. Joe Logano is in the Talladega Walk of Fame. Says in between lanes, indeed. Anthony Alfredo had a good race, says David Nahoff. He did have a good race going. Then he got, I think he got a speeding penalty or something. Something hurt his overall finish. But before that, he definitely was running good. Did you go to the Indy car races this weekend at Barber? About 45 minutes down. I did not check those out. I did see where Barber Motorsports Park was at, but I did not go down there and check out the IndyCar races. Cindric has been a playoff driver for 3 out of his last 4 full-time seasons now, kind of under the radar. says Jesse Daly. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, not a lot of people talk about Cindric, but he's definitely a legit talent that deserves to be talked about. Blaney will get a win before the playoffs, says OJ and Toothpaste. I think so too. And I think Joey Logano will as well. Blaney went to Advanced Auto Parts to repair his dark horse Mustang, says in between the lanes. Yeah, for sure. And he also probably got some extra stuff from Menards as well to finish the repairs. I'm for having the championship at Homestead, but if you think about it, they only race there once, and then they do the broadcast. We'll just focus on 4 cars the entire race and not the rest of the field, says Dirty Def. So yeah, that's something for sure. Maybe they focus too much on the playoffs and not enough on the actual race itself. That's for sure a critique and a criticism that I think is fair to have. That's been levied since the beginning of the final 4 or whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Bucky's is right there at Barber Motorsports Park, where IndyCar racing is this weekend, says Dirty Def. For sure. Right there at Leeds, I think. Leeds, Alabama, I think is where that is at. Blaney is the modern day Gant, says David Nyhoff. So he's comparing him to Harry Gant. So I can see that a little bit. Did you see the Abraham Lincoln at the track? I think Jordan Bianchi posted a pic of the Lincoln guy at the track. I didn't see the Lincoln guy. So that one flew under the radar. What up, BB and Burger Crew? I'm glad you had fun at Dega. Still on my bucket list, but I hope when I go, it's actually a good race, says T-Van. Well, I thought the race was good, personally, from the stands. So it's always different in person, though. So yeah, I would encourage you to go for sure, and hopefully you get the race you want to see when you go. Bruce Garvey, was Ross Chastain's block on the Toyotas noticeable on the track on TV? It looked like he almost took out most of the Toyotas. He just drives aggressively, so I didn't really think anything about it. I just thought, it was a late block, like that. But yeah, it wasn't too crazy from the stands compared to some of the other stuff. But given that there wasn't a ton of action, if I knew it was going to be a less action type of race, I probably would have thought a bigger deal about that. Maybe if you go to you had to choose, would you go to the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro or the Coca-Cola All-Star race in North Wilkesboro all day long? Coca-Cola 600 is a great race. Everybody should experience it once, but I swear that is a long event. Take a lot of water, prepare properly. Don't get destroyed in the pre-race because it's a long day at the racetrack. I didn't watch or listen to Door Bumper Clear yet, but Kyle Busch is the guest, says in between lanes. That should be a good one. Then. We'll see what he has to say about the Brad Keselowski incident. If you get a chance, BB, at the end of the teardown last night, Jeff Cook completely went off about the owners turning down the bring proposal for the All-Star race. It was awesome. Okay, so I have to check out what Gluck was saying about it. Austin Dillon top 10. Indeed, it was a good day to be named Austin. Austin Dillon with the top 10. Austin Hill with the win, and Austin Cindric with the win in the Cup Series. So for sure, a good day to be in Austin. This weekend is the IndyCar race, says Dirty Def. Okay, so the IndyCar race is this weekend. He saved at the pump. Says in between lanes. I just got back from my first trip to Talladega. The Boulevard lived up to its reputation, says Delmer Kaufman. So there you go. Delmer Kaufman, our man on the scene, he was checking out the Boulevard for us. He said it lives up to the hype. So there you go. If you ever questioned it, Delmar has now confirmed. Miami Heat getting swept, says in between lanes. The Heat have been swept or are in the process of getting swept. Paul Menard won in Trans Am. Let's take that as a win this week, says B. So there you go. Paul Menard fans rejoice. He won in Trans Am, and he's still racing. So there you go. You see Shannon Sharp is in deep trouble with the lawsuit, says OJ and Toothpaste. Hey, yeah, I don't know what happened there, so I don't want to cast any aspersions, but if he's guilty, he's guilty. So it is what it is. ESPN let Shannon Sharp go, I think, or he stepped away. So there you go. Not looking good. Not looking good from that perspective. So we'll see. We'll let it play out legally. No need to comment on anything that, like, legitimately anything that serious until all the facts are out there. But if he did it, he has to serve the penalty for that. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's see. Blaney has more DNFs until it all plays out. More DNFs than anyone, and is still 8th in the playoff standings, says David Nyhoff. Yeah. So Blaney, like I said, if he can just clean up the DNFs, he would be for sure one of the top contenders. Logano, DQ, Bush speeding. Penalty killed my fantasy this week, says Enzo. Yeah, fantasy. I think I was 8th or something in fantasy because I forgot to I forgot to put Noah Gregson in and bench Blaney when Blaney got taken out. So that's another problem with being there live. I got too wrapped up in the race to think about fixing my fantasy deal. But yeah, Logano. I just read that one. Let's see. Can you even say what the wildest thing you saw? I tell you what, truth, man. We were there with family, so we didn't go to the wilder side of things. So that was that. But yeah, apparently the Boulevard is always going to be the Boulevard. I mean, I guess my interpretation of it, without going to the Boulevard, is if you've ever been to college, it's kind of like just being in college during a college vacation break, or whatever, spring break. Can you even say? Let's see. Bucky's says Ryan. Yeah, Bucky's is or Boussays if you're French Canadian. Is it's an experience in itself. So if you go to Talladega, definitely go down there to Leeds, and definitely go down there to the Bucky's and check it out. Bucky's always a good time. It's like I don't know, it's a hybrid Walmart gas station truck stop, but there's no it's not a truck stop. It's just a family fueling stop. You just got to experience it one time just to see what it's like. I went to the All-Star race last year and had a phenomenal time. Everyone there was a hardcore race fan, and it was a great time. Says they're deaf. Yeah. Wilkesboro is another one you just need to go and experience it. BB's word of the day is for sure. That's my word every day. I say for sure a lot, my man, for sure. Was MJ there? Did you see Jordan? BB, I did not. He might have been there. I didn't see him. Let's see. Mad Mel Kiper Jr. I love the Packers drafting a wide receiver. Says in between the lanes. So the Packers drafting a wide receiver there. 49ers had a pretty good draft, I think. What did you think about the penalties? I was first in fantasy this week before Joey's DQ, and I haven't looked since. Says Dirty Death. The penalties, where the penalties were located at, I feel like they know what they were doing. Is all I can say. I can't prove that they did it on purpose, but I don't think a bolt's going to fall out of a spoiler. So I feel like they put it on there just loose enough for it to fall. I don't think they meant for it to fall off or fall out, but I think they put it on there loose so they could get some flex in it. I would be my guess there. And the extra shims, that was definitely put there for a reason. So given where it was located and given what was done, they just got caught. They got caught trying to push the issue. They probably thought NASCAR wouldn't look at all that. NASCAR did look at it. They got caught, and that's why they're not appealing any of this. They know that it's cut and dry. They're not going to win. Whether it was on purpose or not, they're not going to win because it's just sort of a cut and dry deal, and no need to challenge it. Unfortunate for those drivers points-wise, because it's a restrictor plate track. I don't think that you're getting that much. I don't think that really affected where they finished in the race, to be totally honest. But you never know. You never know. I don't think it helped them, though, because the restrictor plate track, it's more about just putting yourself in position. So yeah, maybe clean it up for the next one, because I think they probably could have got the same results without that little bit of whatever extra advantage they were looking for there. Your opinion on Shadur Sanders dropping to the 5th round, says OJ and Toothpaste. I'm not going to speak on it like a lot of people, but like it didn't, to me, surprise me, because when I watched him play, he holds the football too long. Like he's trying to play hero ball way too much. And so I feel like he's more of a raw prospect. He's probably going to have to sit on the bench for a year and learn. And I know it's Deion Sanders' son, and Deion Sanders can probably coach him up or whatever you want to say like that. But I think he's going to have to sit on the bench and learn for at least a season or two before he can go in there. Now, raw ability, of course, the raw ability is there. You've seen the gene pool. Deion Sanders, one of the greatest to ever do it. I got the 49ers, basically our last Super Bowl. So a big Deion Sanders fan. But I always thought that he was a really raw prospect, and I never understood the amount of hype he was getting. Like he was going to be a top 5 pick or anything like that. I never understood it. So for me, it wasn't surprising that he fell. It was surprising to me that he fell to the 5th round, but that's just the way it sort of plays out. If you don't go in the first 2 rounds, there's no telling where you could actually go after that, because after that, they're really just trying to fill in holes, and it becomes really situational as to whether or not they need a quarterback or not. And some teams don't need another backup quarterback, which is essentially what he would be. He's essentially going to be a project to be one day your starting quarterback. So we'll see. I wish the best for him, though. Certainly with the I think he went to the Browns. So good luck with the Brownies, especially if you're a quarterback for the Brownies. Good luck for sure. Not a great history there. Alfredo wasn't on a different fuel strategy. That's why he dropped to the back and lost the draft. Okay, so he was just on a different fuel strategy. Leeds, most famous for being the home of Charles Barkley. I didn't know that. Appreciate you there, Dirty Def. So Leeds is where Charles Barkley is from. Cool deal. I wish I'd known that. According to Denny Hamlin, the word is for sure. BB, it is time for the number 22 to get a new pit crew member. So there you go. 22 needs new pit crew members, according to Jamie Schweitzer. I hadn't really paid attention to his pit stops. But maybe that's one of those deals. Did you eat the brisket at Buc-ee's? I want to know if it's truly any good. That's what I crave when I watch people's videos, says T-Van. I didn't eat it this time, but I have had it before, and I will say the brisket is legit. So the brisket is good. Mint Alfredo wasn't dang spell check, says Bruce Garvey. But yeah, so he was on a different fuel strategy, is what you meant. I got you. I picked you up there, Bruce Garvey. No problem, my friend. I thought NASCAR said it was an unappealable infraction. So okay, maybe it was just completely unappealable. But either way, like I said, cut and dry. So I guess you can appeal that one, according to NASCAR. Travis Hunter went to the Jaguars. Yeah, I like what the Jaguars, whatever you want to call them. I like what they did there. Travis Hunter, I think, will be a good positive pickup for them. And I do think he will probably be playing more cornerback. He'll probably play cornerback. And then I was watching the Max breakdown of the first round. And what they said on the Max breakdown was he will probably situationally on offense be in there for short yardage, basically red zone situations. So that would make sense. He would still be a two-way player. He just won't be playing 90% of the snaps on offense. They'll just wait till they get in the red zone and play him there, and then he'll play 90% of the snaps on defense for sure, if not all the snaps on defense. Because it's harder to find a cornerback than it is, I guess, a wide receiver, and it's a lot to ask a rookie to play both ways, learn both playbooks. How many NFL players are great during college and make it to the NFL and are duds, says PC Gone Rogue? I would say probably like 50-50 as far as that goes. I completely agree with you about Shadur. I think he got a long way to go, and teams just didn't want the headache, says Dirty Def. Yeah, and there is an issue to that. A lot of teams don't want the extra press and coverage and stuff like that. That was a big thing with Tim Tebow. Like, a lot of people just didn't want all that extra stuff that came with Tim Tebow. Especially since he was basically a project as a quarterback. Jets got a lineman in the first round, says Lanes. Yeah, and I think that's probably a good pick for them. Denny said it was money because they essentially have to destroy a car to cheat it up for the All-Star race. $2 million to win, $1 million not worth it. Eliminating a car in the fleet because they're only allowed 7 in the fleet. Hey, there you go. That's a fair, and that's a well thought out response from Denny Hamlin. So he doesn't get pigeonholed into what I think NASCAR was probably trying to bait him into saying something crazy there. And that's what I always thought, just because I've always got a tinfoil hat on. I thought that was NASCAR's whole end game by offering that to begin with. Browns have 5 quarterbacks on the roster. LOL, geez, says OJ and Toothpaste. Before Sanders to the Browns, Dylan Gabriel to the Browns as well, says In Between Lanes. There you go, Dylan Gabriel to the Browns. Colts have Danny Dimes and Richardson. Who will get hurt first, says OJ and Toothpaste. It's the Colts. So you got to imagine both of them at some point. Tyler Warren to the Colts. I think Buc-ee's and Cletus have a chance right now to make a lot of NASCAR fans happy, says T-Van. They definitely could for sure. Are you shocked Larson finally had a great finish at Dega? Lots of stage points too. So I think this is his best finish at a super speedway, is second with the penalties and all. I think he got second. So I think it's his best finish at a super speedway thus far. Will there be a first-time Cup winner this season, says Sir Wood Rooster? Yes, I think we will get one. It'll either be Shane Van Gisbergen or Ty Gibbs or Carson Hocevar. BB, can you explain the Xfinity race, why they used the photo and a bad one instead of the last finish loop? Because I guess when the race ends like that, they've said that they're going to go to the photos and not the scoring loops. So when it as soon as the moment of caution happens, when they hit the button, they're going to go to a photo of when the moment of caution happened, when the button was pushed, to eliminate scoring loops, because the drivers don't know where the scoring loop is at and how far they need to race to get to a scoring loop. That has been my understanding. I think Elton Sawyer said that last year or the year before that, if I'm not mistaken. But that's just off the top of my head, if I'm remembering correctly. But I think that was the rationale for that one. Let's see. Is as in Buc-ee's needs to sponsor Cletus, says T-Van. Yeah, I think that would be a win-win if they sponsored Cletus. I agree with you. How do you think the Panthers will do this year, says Enzo? They overachieved last year with I think they played as good as they could with the talent they had. So probably about where they were at last year, unless they have really added some studs in the draft and the off season, if I'm guessing. But probably about where they were at. But they were scrappy. They were a scrappy team last year. Hopefully they continue to be a scrappy team for the Panthers fans. NASCAR worst NASCAR flip in your opinion, says OJ and Toothpaste. Probably Davey Allison at Talladega or Rusty Wallace at either Pocono or Talladega. Those are probably two of the nastiest ones I ever remember. They both look pretty rough after those. I watched Pat McAfee's Draft Spectacular for coverage of the NFL, says In Between the Lanes. So there you go. In Between the Lanes, sticking with his guy, Pat McAfee. Justin Marks brought up a good point. He was like, the teams could come up with something cool for the All-Star race, and they only would be told by NASCAR afterwards that they aren't going to look at doing that. Says Dirty Def. Hey, there you go. That's a fair point too. So NASCAR, when it's NASCAR's idea, it's a great idea. When it's not NASCAR's idea, yeah, we're not doing that. You see a lot of people in positions of power that are actually like that. Shout out to Pat McAfee, says In Between the Lanes. Indeed. Shout out to Pat McAfee. Poll question as it stands right now, 54 votes in, 20% saying stage brakes are the problem, 17% saying the car is the problem. Both the car and the stage brakes at 56%, and no problem, the racing is great, is at 7%. So there you go. That's the breakdown right now. Dirty Def saying, did you see where Cletus's RV broke down on their way to the Dega? Saw a roll off bringing it back. Hey, there you go. He made sure he got to the track either way. So that was super cool. I did see Austin Hill. How many Austins can I name? Austin Cindric's Airstream leaving midway through the race. And after he won the race, I remember my immediate thought being, man, after winning the race and probably having to stay there later than he wanted to, he's probably wishing that the Airstream was still there so he could just crash and get it in the morning. But I thought that was kind of funny because he was like one of the first ones out of the motorhome lot because I was sort of right in front of the motorhome lot where I was just past the start finish line. Did you hang out with Dave Moody at Dega Dirt, Dirty Def and BB? OJ and Toothpaste, glad you asked. Dirty Def did hang out with Dave Moody, or at least talk to him. I got a good picture of him. Got the godfather of smack to smile for once in his life. So shout out to Dirty Def, the Moody Whisperer. You gonna order? I did not hang out with him though. You gonna order Cindric Talladega win diecast as In Between Lanes? I'm thinking about it because it would be sentimental, but also probably not. I'm just gonna be real with you. spent a good chunk of change at Talladega as it was. I'm answering OJ. Worst flip was either Rusty or McDowell. McDowell just kept flipping, says T-Van. So he's going with Rusty. I think Pocono wreck as well. That was a pretty tough one. The Davey Allison one I would put up there too. But those are three good ones as well, T-Van. Back home today, it broke down, says Dirty Def. T-Van, yeah, I agree. Austin Dillon or Ryan Preece was bad too. Oh, yeah, Austin Dillon when he had to pull his feet up. That was a tough one too. Preece, pretty good. Don't forget Austin 316, says In Between Lanes. Yeah, don't forget Custer 316. So Austin 316 and Cole Custer, the Broken Skull beer or whatever, Steve Austin's group needs to get up with Cole Custer and sponsor him. Speaking of Cole Custer, he does have some Red Baron sponsorship. So look forward to Red Baron sponsoring Cole Custer as well. I know Dave actually smiled. I made him talk to me, and he was actually nice, says Dirty Def. So there you go. Dirty Def saying IRL, Dave Moody is nice. He just plays a bad guy on radio. Just kidding. Just having some fun with the Godfather there. Was the least bad flip Dale Sr., when he still drove the car home. Oh, yeah. So when he flipped over and he cranked it back up and fired it up and took off, that was a pretty cool moment for sure. I think that was at Talladega too. I was on a garage tour and Steve Post was our tour guide and he was very cool. Hey, there you go. That's pretty cool. You got the Steve Post garage tour. That's pretty cool, my friend. So, yeah. All right. Looks like we have reached the end of the chat here. So final results of the poll question are 56% saying that both the car and the stage brakes are the problem with super speedways. No problem. The racing is great. 7%, 16% saying it's the car, 20% saying it is the stage brakes that are ruining the super speedway racing. The worst Dega for me, I think his name was Jimmy Horton back in the 80s, went up in the air and went over top of the guardrails into the parking lot. I didn't know about that one, Roger Riggs, so I'm going to have to go check that one out. T-Van saying, OJ, we can consider Larson's wreck as a flip when the engine ended up in the stands. Says T-Van, glad you had a great time. And Weekend BB, peace out. All right. Appreciate you too, Dirty Def. Next time I go down there, we'll get up for sure. All right, that's gonna do it for this one. Until the next one, check y'all later. Peace.